Welcome back to the Deep Dive, everyone. We're your hosts, coming to you, as always, from the Digicom Cafe.
Right. Located inside the digicomcafe.com web app, built by Denny J. K5DCC.
And you are tuned into the Radio on the Rocks Cafe cast. We have something really exciting today. News that might just change how you think about connecting globally using radio.
That's right. We're diving into a blog post called Practice Ham Radio Skills Without a License. And honestly, it reveals a fantastic opportunity.
Okay.
Imagine experiencing global radio communication, connecting with the ham community, all without needing that traditional license right off the bat. It's about, getting your feet wet, practicing skills.
Yeah, because getting a ham license, well, it involves studying, tests.
Yeah.
It can seem like a big step for some.
Exactly.
But the Digicom Cafe has this great model: read, listen, engage. You read the blog for the big picture. You're listening right now for the deep dive for the details.
Which is this.
Right. And then you can engage with the Digicom Cafe bot if you still have questions.
Yeah.
So yeah, think of this as your audio guide to this cool new possibility.
And the real key, the thing that unlocks this, is an app called Linkpoon from TalkPod.
Linkpoon, okay.
And what's really neat is how it brings that traditional ham radio feel to your smartphone or tablet, even your computer. It uses the internet, obviously, for that global reach.
Right.
But the interface, it's designed to feel familiar, intuitive, whether you're totally new or, a seasoned operator. It lets you start practicing those ham skills comfortably.
All right, let's get into it then. What is Linkpoon exactly? What makes it tick?
Okay, so Linkpoon is essentially a virtual amateur radio app. Think of it like software that turns your phone, your tablet, whatever, into a radio connected to the whole world. Now, the really amazing part is you can punch in any virtual frequency and just start chatting with other users on that same virtual frequency anywhere. And crucially, you don't need that license to get started this way.
No license needed for that part. Wow.
Right. And the TalkPod folks, they really put effort into making it look and feel like using a real ham radio, which is great for newcomers, to get a sense of it.
Yeah, I can see that.
And it's convenient for experienced hams, too, maybe for practice or just connecting differently.
So, okay, it looks and feels like a radio.
Yeah.
But how does it manage that global connection if it's not using, actual radio waves?
Good question. It uses your internet connection. That's the backbone.
Yeah.
It creates this virtual radio environment. So these frequencies you tune into, they're basically digital channels hosted online.
Oh, okay. Digital channels.
Exactly. So when you use a Linkpoon, you first pick an identifier, like a call sign if you have one, or just a username if you don't.
Gotcha.
Then you can dial in any virtual frequency, maybe even a CTCSS tone that's kind of like a special key.
Right, a privacy code almost?
Sort of, yeah. To join a specific virtual channel, it's a bit like finding a specific room or server online.
Okay, yeah, like picking a channel on Discord or something similar.
That's a good analogy, yeah. And it gets pretty sophisticated. You can actually monitor two different virtual frequencies at the same time.
Oh, dual watch, like on a real radio.
Precisely. And if you find channels you like, you save them as favorites. Easy access.
Now, I remember the blog mentioning some hardware. A specific device.
Yes, exactly. TalkPod makes a device called the N58 Plus. It's built specifically, really, to enhance using Linkpoon.
Okay.
It's got physical controls like a channel knob, which really gives you that tactile, traditional radio vibe, plus a touchscreen, GPS mapping.
GPS. Interesting.
Yeah, you don't need it to use the app on your phone or computer, but if you want that really authentic ham radio feel, or maybe use it for simulated emergency drills virtually, it adds a lot.
Makes sense. So if I just open the app on my phone, what's the main screen look like? What am I seeing?
Okay, the main screen is pretty intuitive. It shows you the important stuff right away. You'll see the virtual frequency you're on, I think.
A list of other users currently active on that frequency.
So you know who's there.
Exactly. And a signal strength indicator. But here, it represents your internet connection strength to the server.
Yeah.
How well you're connected to that digital channel, basically.
Right. And changing frequencies, how does that work?
Pretty simple. You can manually type in any virtual frequency. And get this, they say there's potential for up to 90 million channels.
90 million. Wow.
Yeah, it's vast. Allows for tons of different groups and chats. Some might need a password or that CTCSS tone we mentioned, maybe for a more private group.
Okay.
And you've got that channel list for saving your favorites, makes it easy to jump around. Plus the dual monitoring we talked about, listening to two at once.
Useful.
And of course, a big obvious PTT push-to-talk button for when you want to speak.
It really does sound like they've captured the core functions of using a radio.
They really have. And that user list is super helpful, seeing who's active. Plus, there's a settings menu for your profile, notifications, audio adjustments, all the usual stuff you'd expect. Okay, perfect. Now let's bring it home. How can our listeners connect with us, with the Digicom Cafe community, using Linkpoon?
Yes. This is where it gets really fun for our listeners. The Digicom Cafe has its own virtual hangouts on Linkpoon.
Oh, cool.
We've set up specific virtual frequencies, places where licensed hams, folks learning, people just curious about radio, everyone can connect from anywhere.
So like our own channels.
Exactly. And we also have a UHF channel based on your call sign's DTMF pad tones, actually. For K5DCC, that's 455322.
Right, like pressing those numbers on an old phone keypad, 455322.
That's the one. So if someone wants to join us, say, on the Radio on the Rocks channel,
What do they do?
super easy. Open Linkpoon, punch in 455322.
Right.
Then set your username. If you're licensed, use your call sign. If not, just pick a nickname. That's it.
And that's okay, using a nickname if you're not licensed.
Absolutely. The whole point of the Digicom Cafe channels is to be welcoming to everyone. Licensed, not licensed, doesn't matter. It's a great way to just listen in, get a feel for the community, ask questions, maybe. It's supportive. You can practice talking comfortably.
That's fantastic. A welcoming space to practice. Okay, so explain this again. How does typing a frequency into my phone app connect me to someone, I don't know, across the country or the world doing the same thing?
Right. It's all about leveraging the internet. When you enter 144.322 in Linkpoon, you're not tuning a radio wave. You're telling the app to connect you to a specific virtual server, a spot in the cloud that's hosting that particular digital channel, that frequency. Anyone else, anywhere, who opens Linkpoon and enters a 455322,
Right.
connected to that same virtual space on that same server.
Ah, okay, so it's like joining the same online meeting room or chat channel.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It uses the internet to create these shared virtual radio rooms.
Got it. That makes total sense now.
And the cool part is this allows real-time chats with licensed hams, other learners, friends using the app. Location doesn't matter. The app uses, smart algorithms to keep the delay low and the audio clear, so it feels pretty natural.
Good audio quality is key.
Definitely. And like we said about the Digicom Cafe channels, a lot of these virtual spots often have experienced hams hanging out who are happy to help, answer questions, guide newcomers.
That community support sounds invaluable.
It really is. Oh, and there's even a common virtual calling frequency people use, like a 146.520 on real radios, but the virtual equivalent is 146.520. Lots of hams monitor that one too.
Good tip. Okay, so summing up, for someone just curious about ham radio, why should they really give Langpoon a shot? What are the big draws?
Well, the number one reason, as we've said, is you can dive right in. Experience that ham radio style communication without needing the license first. That's huge.
Removes that initial barrier.
Completely. You get global reach instantly, no tests required for this part. The app itself is user-friendly, has that familiar radio feel. And, really importantly, it's the community aspect. Joining groups like ours, the Digicom Cafe, lets you connect with people who share that interest, learn from them, make friends. It's a comfortable place to practice those communication skills you'd need for a license later if you go that route.
Yeah, practice in a friendly space. Makes perfect sense. So, listener thinking, okay, I want to try this. What are the actual steps? How do they get started?
It's really quite straightforward. Step 1, download the Linkpoon app. Just search Linkpoon in your phone's app store, or you can go to the TalkPod website.
Okay, download the app.
Step 2, install it, open it up, and create a profile. Choose that username, or if you have one, your call sign.
Profile setup. Got it.
Step 3, start exploring. Enter a frequency. We'd suggest trying one of the Digicom Cafe ones. See who's there, listen in.
And then just jump in.
Yeah. Don't be shy. When you feel comfortable, hit that PTT and say hello. Honestly, the best way to learn is just by doing it, experimenting.
Fantastic. So to wrap it up, Langpoon really is this amazing gateway. A way to experience global radio, practice skills, connect with the ham community, all without that initial license requirement.
Exactly.
And the Digicom Cafe on Linkpoon is there, a welcoming spot for everyone, licensed or not, to connect and learn together.
Absolutely. It's all about providing that supportive space to build skills and learn from others who love radio.
So for you listening, if you've ever been curious about radio, about connecting with people far away, well, here's your chance. No major hurdles to start.
Just download the app.
Yeah. Download Linkpoon and just check it out. Dip your toes into the ham radio world comfortably.
Which kind of leads to a final thought for you to consider. What is it about global communication that really intrigues you the most? And thinking about Linkpoon, what's the first virtual frequency you think you'll explore?
Ooh, good question. Definitely something to ponder. Thanks everyone for joining us on this deep dive. We really hope you'll continue exploring radio communications with us right here in the Digicom Cafe.